Isaiah 8:16, bind up the testimony, seal the law among my disciples. And I will wait on Yahweh who hides his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. Psalm 102, hear my prayer, O Yahweh, and let my call come to you. Do not hide your face from me. In the day I am in trouble, incline your ear to me. In the day I call, answer me quickly. For my days are ending in smoke, and my bones are burned like charred wood.
What is it with you? You don't care what happens to you, do you? You run around here with a handful of nails looking for a cross to die on.
You don't get to tell me who I invite to my house. Nobody does.
Psalm 102:16, when Yahweh builds up Zion, he will appear in his radiance, and he will turn to the prayer of the destitute. Remember how it began? Hear my prayer, O Yahweh? And that burnt offering there. This will be written for a generation to come, and a people who will be created will praise Yah. For he has looked down from the height of his sanctuary. From the heavens Yahweh beheld the earth. And remember, in that Jacob's ladder dream, that coming down, he said, I am Yahweh. It's his tabernacle of Yahweh. Because then he poured oil on the rock, because that rock represented the Messiah to come. So, to hear the groaning of the prisoner, and that was that one with the prayer. To set free the sons of death, that's that witness from Revelation. To declare the name of Yahweh in Zion and his praise in Jerusalem. Revelation 11:8, and their corpses will lie on the street of the mighty city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
Dead man's hand, Mr. Vick.
How did I know there was going to be a Queen of Hearts there? When I was first watching it, I just said to myself that there would be one there, and sure enough. So you got the two aces, the 88, and the Queen of Hearts. And aces, those can either be 1 or 11. So there's a couple different things it can be. Now, if you watched my videos, all my predictive programming ones, like the Snow White, Twilight, and I talked about the Twin Towers in there, like how they're being, representing, the king and queen going down, that, they're going to kill each one. And like you got September 11 in that dead man's hand, Mr. Wick. And yeah, I got September 11 there. And look, Antichrist revealed. Trump, text Trump to 88022. Make America great again, 2024. So those two aces, two 11s, 11 plus 11 equals 22. And that's also the V, which V can be for the woman. Which, if you watch my other videos, I showed that code in there. I'm going to go down a little bit more and show you something else too. With that same dead man's hand, Mr. Wick, you get Donald Trump code 882, 022. That's those two aces there. And it gets deeper too. So then you got that 9/11. If you know about that 9/11, the little ritual behind there about, you know, they were going to kill the king and the queen. But then you can also get 22 out of those two aces, which V is the 22nd letter. Not only is that, you know, for women, but they also got another thing behind there. Decode Jesus INRI coded. That is what he had on when he was on the cross.
Oh, Jesus. Shall we feed Elena with comms?
I think so. Oh, that in-ear radio thing you guys have? Ah, even better. It's a subdermal transmitter. Works through bone conduction. See? So I'm getting a tattoo?
So you see those little connections with that decode Jesus INRI coded. So you know how that was above his head when he was crucified, and then you had that V code in the cards, and then boom, it's on her neck, and then they turn around and they show a V on the other one's wrist, and it kind of goes with those other movies with the X on her wrist, and you know, the X marking the spot. And that's funny too, because Istanbul, not Constantinople. They actually go to Istanbul in Charlie's Angels. That from that clip I just showed you with the V on her neck, and that Constantinople. I think if I remember right, that was from that personal shopper. One of the decodes from the Gematria had Constantinople in it. And I apologize if I'm wrong, but I covered it in my recent videos. I showed a clip of it, so if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can watch the other videos, because then you can kind of start making all these connections. And look, born a Jesus hair, just like, you know, the September 11, you know, the two towers coming down, the king and the queen, and when you use other names she has in movies, you get, like, you know, bloodline of Jesus and stuff like that. They keep showing that in the scripts. And the Donald Trump code, you know, he has that V2 because he's a woman. He's got a Q angle. I showed that in the Snow White Twilight video. And look, here you go. Christ's bloodline again, you know, for that V, for the woman. That's the secret behind the actual queen, not the Queen of Hearts, which I'm going to show you the Queen of Hearts connections. Because I've talked about how, like, that Charlize Theron was, you know, like, she's playing Trump in there, because, you know, that's another one that's actually, you know, a man, not a woman. Just like, you know, the T-Man is a woman, not a man. So it's pretty obvious he's playing, you know, that Queen of Hearts.
If I lose my temper, you lose your head. Understand?
No one I can trust. No one. No loyalty. No loyalty. None! Not even from you! Where is she? Open the head! That is interfering! Open his head! How dare you! Open his head!
So Dead Man's Hand, Mr. Wick, you got to connect the dots here. We got all those other connections with Keanu Reeves playing like Neo, and also him from Constantine. You know how he's always playing like that chosen one in his roles, and then you got him, you know, following the White Rabbit in there, and then, you know, you saw those pictures of Kristen Stewart's childhood home with the white rabbit on there and the Queen of Hearts, and then you seen how in Alice in Wonderland how that queen's always like off with their head, and that Ravenna from Snow White, she's always screaming like that, and I've kind of connected her to playing like Trump's part in this, and you see him having some public interactions with Kristen Stewart and from Twitter days, and now it's X, but they had a little thing where they went back and forth at each other, and but let's continue connecting the dots.
You can't stand it, can you? You can't stand that I might be a part of something more important than books or articles or movies.
For God's sake, Jean.
So that last one you saw was from Charlie's Angels, and that's it had that the NTJK8 H Padromu. So I put that in the gematria. And that clip before, that was from Seaborg, where she had her in that crucifixion thing at the beginning of this video, and you kind of see how in that movie Seaborg she's famous, but then she kind of just throws it all away for this cause. But let's look at the gematria connecting the dots here from the Charlie's Angels. And when you put that in there, what was in that building in the background? You got the bloodline of Jesus. And look, Donald Trump is the Antichrist. Like, if the cards didn't already tell you that, and the Queen of Hearts. And yeah, there's a little more too. They put Holy Daughter Perfection. Is that, like the set apart daughter kind of thing? Because people don't know all these hidden truths in the Bible. It does tell you about a queen. Kind of get some more kind of Trump Q stuff, but trust the plan. But God has a plan too. So, and remember Trump, what this represents? The calm. Maybe it's the calm before the storm. Like, what storm, Mr. President? You'll find out, he said. Yeah, then Stormy Daniels and Eye of the Storm. I talked about that calm before the storm in my video, Calm Before the Storm. X marks the beginning of the Lord's Day. And it has more of the predictive programming from Hidden Strike, and let's see. Yeah, see, the storm is coming. Yes, it is. So you see those two keys? That's that royal secret, the keys of David. But that was from Charlie's Angels and Twilight. And then Twilight, she kind of gets married. She gets the keys, and she goes to her house with it, and it's that golden key. It's that same key. If you really paid attention, it had that same little keychain on it.
I'm asking him. I said, Mr. Brock, have you ever heard of Humphrey Davy? And he says, no. I say, have you ever heard of Joseph Swan or Alexander Ludian?
So Joseph Swan, huh? Remember Isabel Swan, Isabel Dotson, Constantine, and from the Snow White Twilight. If you've seen my videos, you'd know that, and you know that I say David, King David, is from the line of Joseph. Judah is a lie. Let's see what this gematria says here. Look, God does have a wife. House of Yahweh, it's just like Genesis 28. When he came down and he said, I am Yahweh in the dream. And Jacob said, "This is the house of Yahweh," and he poured oil on the rock that represented the Messiah to come. And what else do we have here? And just remember, too, that him saying, Joseph Swan, that's just another connection there in Charlie's Angels, and, that Kristen Stewart's in that movie, so, and she's Isabel Swan, and now you hear Joseph Swan, and in the same movie, Joseph Swan falls into a pit, which I'll show you in the next scene. Joseph falling into a pit. What else we got here? Look, the white horse. Son of Man. Human sacrifice. The prodigal son story, the one who was bad and came back and did good. I am the Messiah. I found you. What else? The seal is broken like gematria, like Donald Trump said. And so, stay tuned. You're going to see Joseph Swan fall into a pit just like Joseph.
Father, David, this is Isabel.
You're Isabel Swan, the new girl. Hi, I'm Eric, the eyes and ears.
So we got Miss Independent here, and that's what we had written up on that sign. Tassima Capacitius, whatever. But let's see what we get in the gematria there. These people are sick. And Monarch Programming. If you've seen some of my other videos, I showed one where right on the Truth Social they had a thing with someone hashtagging these people are sick, and they had a we go one, we go all, so it was a Q PSYOP guy, and it had pictures of like Kristen Stewart and doing little bunny ears with her Alice in Wonderland programming, the Monarch Programming, because see people they want us all to hate all those celebrities, and some of them, I know they're not all under mind control, so some of them, really are making their own decisions, but I'm not going to go on to that topic today, but let's see what this gematria says here, because I saw some interesting stuff, like the third day, when that cyborg, when she gets killed, rises on the third day, the queen. But here we go. Down Yellow Brick Road, Alice in Wonderland, and here we go again, the Davidic bloodline, another one of her saying that. Just over and over repetition. And V for victory, from my movie or video about the 1984 and the X and all that. In 1984 he has V for victory, and then I showed a clip from V for vengeance, and V, Trump doing that V all the time, he's a tranny. And what more can you say about that V? You got the queen, start to believe, or maybe not. David versus Gog. I've talked about the Gog and Magog. You should know who that is if you've watched the videos I talk about the gathering in. It's pretty obvious who that Gog is. But I'm going to show a couple more clips now. I got a few more things I've noticed, like in the Twilight series and also from Seaborg.
are you?
I want you to.
Who is this?
I want you to stop. Donations, your association with the Panthers, all of it.
So the Panthers, that's what we got in here now. And the key one here is the Anointed One. So he wants her to stop her associations with the Anointed One. And that's from that Seberg movie. And that's where, she's famous, but then she kind of just loses it all, going after something bigger than, her acting and all that.
They will come after you.
Who's they? Who's they?
Listen to me. Listen to me. They will destroy you. Your reputation, your career, your family, everything.
So her association with the Anointed One is going to cost her everything. And she doesn't care. She's gonna tell him off in the next clip. It's gonna be an F-bomb from her in case someone doesn't want to hear the language, so.
Everything.
Listen to me. Thank you. Do you hear me?
Some of mine fell in love with the lamb.
What a stupid lamb.
You sick, masochistic lion.
So we got Stupid Lamb we're gonna do now. Now, we know from the Twilight, so that Isabel, she's that bride of Christ figure, and Edward is that David in the movie. So I am prophet. It's a witness prophet, because she's that lamb there and he's the lion, from what they're trying to get across there. God seals foreheads. Those who believe, their forehead will be sealed. But let's keep going, because it gets interesting here. We get in the English and simple. White rabbit. She has that house with the white rabbit on there. Neil, follow the white rabbit. David Starr. I've spoke about that in other videos. Like, she has a lot of connections in her names that say, like, the Star of David and David Starr. And chosen by God. DNA of Christ. More of that, line of Jesus and bloodline. Davidic bloodline and chosen ones, because her and Edward, the type of the bride and the groom. Divine love, because there is that marriage at the end. I talk about in Revelation 19. There's that marriage. The bride made herself ready. People say it's everyone. It's speaking about that literal bride. She's the witness. Masochistic lion. Look, is Elohim in the flesh. Just like I was saying, how, you know about the God who is coming, the Almighty from Revelation, it's Elijah. And there you go. And I said he's being that type of David, and they have it in the Gematria as Elohim in the flesh. The name of the Lord. Female Christ? Nope. Now they even got more Bride of Christ, the stuff right here. A message for you. The Bride of Christ. We got Trump arrest. but my twin is named. They talk about that Spirit Destiny stuff, and there's like twins and Constantine, and I was almost going to show a clip of that, but I didn't in my Constantine video. But yeah, you see that in the gematria too, about the twin flames and all that. You know, maybe they kind of look alike. They're both, you know, from the house of Joseph. Name of the Lord, chosen messenger.
I've been waiting a century to marry you, Miss Swan.
Miss Swan. And guess what? White Rabbit. David Starr, chosen by God.
I know I can do this. And let me tell you why. Because you did. You should give yourself some credit for that. And hopefully a year from now, I'm gonna look in the mirror and see someone like you. And someone capable of courage and sacrifice and love.
So capable of sacrifice, with Edward being that type of the Christ, when we know he didn't actually die in that movie, but she's mentioning sacrifice because they're playing their roles, and she's gonna die like him and be resurrected. The king and the queen both will die and be resurrected on the third day. So what you heard singing in the background, Have I Found You, Flightless Bird, by Iron and Wine, or Have I Lost You? But for some reason I wanted to go look at the lyrics on there and check it out. In the cold and clean blood of Christ, mountain stream. Mountain in the Bible can be code for king. And stream, when you see a stream, you see a line. So you got the line of the blood of Christ, the blood of Christ, king line. And it's just like you see when, you know, Jesus was born, you had, you know, Mary and Joseph, and they were both of the line of David, just like you see the Davidic bloodline in the gematria with her. And now, you know, them singing that song at her marriage with that type and shadow of the Christ. Singing, Have I Found You, Flightless Bird, because, you know, at the resurrection, she's going to have wings, you know, just like Zechariah shows when the bowl's removed, the two winged beings come out, and they're the blood of Christ. That's the line.
I can't bring myself to regret the decisions that brought me face to face with death. They also brought me to Edward.